YouTube? This is GalacticGod, and it's Sunday, so that means it's time for another Yu-Gi-Oh chat video. Now this week I want to talk about buying cards when they're at their least value, so you can maximize the best on your return. I'm going to do this from more of a collector or player standpoint than that of actually making a buck or two, because you can do that as well. But this is more for like a long-term player, someone who's not just, in the game for a couple months and then out, or just, someone who's new. So for those of us that have been around, playing Yu-Gi for quite a while, you'll see that this kind of rings true for card value prices. Every time a forbidden list happens, certain cards go on, certain cards come off, and when that happens, the value of cards change. Now, both monetary and friggin' value in the game itself. And so I'm going to bring up a card in particular, and that is Judgment Dragon. Judgment Dragon was going for about $4 or $5 on eBay, and that's for the gold rare. Right before even up until the morning of the ban list. Then within hours, Judgment Dragon went from like a $4 or $5 card up to about $20, $25 card. Now this happens all the time, especially with cards that go on the ban list. Emergency Provisions is another one that comes to mind to me. When that got limited, the card went from a $40 or $50 card down to like a $4 or $5 card. Now, what I usually do is when this happens, I like to go in and scoop up on these cards that are no longer as valued as they once were. Now, I'm going to bring up a card in particular. This is Fishborg Blaster. This is the one from the Turbo Pack. Now, this card was going for probably about maybe 40 or 50 bucks or so right before the Forbidden List happened, and then he went on it, and now this card is going for nothing. I'm picking these up for about maybe $4 or $5 off of eBay. So I mean, they're really cheap. I mean, you can see them. The price kind of fluctuates a little bit. When you bid, you usually get a better deal than if you just do the buy it now. But then you're guaranteed your card when you do the buy it now. But this one in particular, I think I got for $4, and this one I got for like 5 something. I just picked up another one for like 6 something I think on eBay. I'm getting it in the mail pretty soon, and then I'm gonna have my play set of 3. Some people say that's kind of crazy because it is forbidden, but I've been playing the game for almost a decade now, and I know that cards come on and off the list, and eventually Fishborg will probably come off the list. Maybe not next format, maybe not the format after that, but in 2 years, if this card comes off the list, to get the holographic version is going to be very hard and extremely expensive. So for those of us that are in the game for the long haul, that have been in the game for the long haul, this is kind of a wise investment. So, I mean, if you're one of the people that are just in and out, this is probably not going to ring so much true to you. But, for those of us that have been around for a while, you see that eventually everything comes on and off the, the list. Maybe in a year or so, Fishborg might get limited to 1, and come off the list and just be at 1, and then people are going to be scammering to get this card. And I'm already going to have the holographic version of it. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. Another card example, I would say, would be Black Luster Soldier. Once he got released in gold, people started realizing that there's a good chance that he may come off the list, and people were picking up copies of the gold rare for relatively cheap. I mean, $4 or $5, something like that. And now he's going for, I think, around 30, maybe 40. I forget exactly the amount that he's going for up on eBay. But, people who, or people that just already have their IOC copy from way back in the day and just never got rid of it. I mean, why sell a card for just $4 or $5 when you can hang on to it? It's just a kind of a wise investment. And so what I suggest is that you kind of just look at the cards that are going really cheap at the time. Eventually, Konami will take certain cards on or off and just leave them off for a format or leave them off for a format. And if you really want to have those cards, it's good to invest in them when they're really cheap. So if you have like a couple extra bucks, I mean, you're going to pick up a lot of these cards really friggin' cheap. And, and so it's, worth it to get them when they're that low, because in a format or two, they may be, the top tier card that everybody's scammering for. Anyways, that's my thought on buying cards, that are on the forbidden list, how it sometimes is a wise investment. Let me know what you guys think, if this is something that you guys do or something that you might consider. If you think I'm crazy for doing it. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Leave a comment below. And this is GalacticGod, out.